happy to bring Annie here today. And Annie has over 20 years of experience across the research, biotech, and diagnostic industries, from working at so many places, renowned places like Institute of Molecular and Cellular Biology, A-Star Singapore, wow, Queen's Mary Hospital, the University of Hong Kong, Life Technologies, known as Thermo Fisher, which, yeah, I kind of, you know, I'm more familiar with that term, and contigent, is it?
Yeah.
She was trying to teach me to pronounce that. Now, Annie joined BD Biosciences in 2014 as Strategic Marketing Manager for BD Diagnostic Systems in the Asia-Pacific regions, and took on roles from portfolio management, market development, and industrial partnership, where the molecular diagnostics and women's health businesses both saw profitable growth. So under her current leadership, the region that she's leading won the financial year 22 Global BDB Region of the Year Award. This is really amazing. She's able to bring in the science into the business world. Now, Annie is passionate about developing talent and engaging employees, as evidenced by her active involvement inside BD in the WINS team, like Women's Initiative Network, and her commitment to excellence has been recognized as well with the Greater Asia Leadership Award in FY 2018. And absolutely not only based on the award, I've personally, you know, interacted with Annie. She is indeed what the award says it to be. And I know, you know, one discovery I did was, as I was preparing with Annie, I discovered Annie should have called herself Dr. Annie Chan, because she pursued her PhD degree in molecular virology at the University of Oxford. She has agreed to speak with us on how you should excel above your contract role. And so on this, I think what I'll do is I'll stop share and pass the floor over to Annie. Annie, are you ready?
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. First of all, thank you for the invitation today, as well as I'm glad to share my experience with the audience as well. And later on, I will give a brief introduction about myself, which is relevant to the topic today. What's the tip to excel as a contract hire from an employer hiring manager point of view, as well as personal experience. And there will be Q&A as well. Please feel free to drop in any questions in the chat box. And later on, we will take the opportunity to address any questions. So here's my career journey. Actually, my career journey with a lot of unexpected. And I kicked off as a researcher in University of Hong Kong. And I did encounter and enroll to different internships and worked briefly also at Queen's Mary Hospital. And at that time, I decided to take a career break. And I moved to UK to pursue a PhD study. I love science all the way. And I just echoed to the conversation just now about Ikigai. It's something which I've been following, what's my passions, what I love about science. And that's how I had the decision move on from the researchers from Hong Kong and move to UK, pursue my PhD study on molecular virology. And at that time, it's also an eye-opening experience as well, where I met a lot of brilliant people, talents. And later on, I do move back to Asia. And that's how I kick off my career in Singapore, first of all, as a research fellow or scientist in the Government Research Institute, A-Star. And later on, I do aware from my previous life, a lot of technologies actually well established, but it's what unknown to the general public, or is not yet widely adopted to really benefit the general public. And that's why I take the first move to commercial more than 15 years ago to life technologies. And at that time, that job provided me an opportunity for my career shift from academia to commercial, but at the same time, giving me a chance to fulfill my personal goal here as well, to introduce technology, not only to scientists, but also clinicians, how to adopt technologies to daily life. And I give one example. If you recall, about 10 years ago, there was swine flu outbreak in Asia. And that's the time we have this, I have this opportunity to work with different clinicians, Ministry of Health, to develop a test kit for swine flu rapid testing. And recently COVID, and I believe now everyone are aware what is PCR. And actually this is not a new technology. It was a technology developed 40 years ago. And I think all the way because of my background, of my personal goal of loving science, and how to bring along the technology to the general public. That's how made me continue to stay in this in the industry. And later on, I moved to contigent, which expand my scope, covering a lot of molecular diagnostic, how to bring along technology for diagnosis, for prognosis and screening as well. And it's a coincidence. Today is exactly 9 years anniversary for me in Becton Dickinson. And in the past 9 years in Becton Dickinson BD, I do working on 5 different roles in 2 business units.
Very nice. Congratulations. Yay. Everyone
It's
please
really
join me.
meaningful day to me.
Yeah, congratulations. 9 years exactly today.
Yes,
wonderful.
exactly today.
Wow.
So I think after I really like my job, which allows me to get the most from 3 different aspects. So first of all is customer engagement. And all the way I shared earlier on, customer engagement through conferences or traveling across the world to introduce different technology, or even to brainstorm what's next for discovery or for chemical application. That's really drive me to come back to work every day. And apart from customer engagement, another area is associate engagement. And that's also another layer of personal goal here as well. On top is a picture showing one of the associate group, the WIN initiative that Annie mentioned earlier on. We did take the opportunity to acknowledge the family of our associates. Particularly in Singapore, there's a lot of expatriates. And when we employ the associate to the organization, actually their family, they're great supporters. They sacrifice a lot to support their spouse or their family to take on the new role in another countries. And that's why we organized a special event of that time to acknowledge the spouse, the family of our associate who relocate recently to Singapore. At the bottom is a picture of a recent award event, which our team with a few individuals, they are winner of the winners, and there's some celebration event happening. And on the right column, personal purpose. The top picture is showing in New Zealand state newspaper. The hospice hospital director make a comment about they are grateful to have the COVID testing, which now can deliver result in 3 hours, which wasn't the case, or that's the gap in the past for general public, how to get a test result in short period of time. And this really struck me as well. That's how important our work to deliver a solution and outcome that benefit the general public. And at the bottom is a kind of small group celebration party with our team for the financial year end. And how does it matter to everyone, the audience in this call? It is a natural move to take on a contract role for various reasons. If you recall in my first slide, actually there's a number of roles in Hong Kong, even in Singapore, I was on contract roles as well. And my first full-time job actually is my first commercial job in life technologies. And just try to summarize, there's different reasons why people are looking for part-time job or contract roles. We do encounter a lot of candidates looking for possibilities. They are likely caregivers, or they are pursuing full-time or part-time study. And that's why they look for a contract role with more possibility. And also for some cases, it's career transition, particularly for anyone thinking about what's next, or moving from one industry to another, or they are uncertain about what's their career aspiration. So it's quite common for those candidates looking for career transition to take on a contract role. And number 3 here is life priority. And we do observe, particularly during the COVID time, we now all set with different priorities. some candidates look for well-being, wellness, but also for life priorities, also consider people looking for social networking or even for different personal reasons. And from employer perspective, we open up contract role due to macroeconomic situations. It could be headwind and tailwind. Headwind, for example, due to the uncertainty of the economy, we be cautious about all the expense. And for tailwind, I think one great example is last few years, there's strong demand about supply chain or even compliance regulatory, which is evolving in our region. That's opened up a lot of contract roles to catch up with the needs of the economy. And another reason, employer looking for contract roles, including temporary backfill or full-time employee, but at the same time, it's also consider building up a talent pipeline. And also sometimes there's project-based team as well. There may be specific project require different expertise in short, mid, long term, which require a lot of additional contract roles to fulfill a project within a timeline. And also echo to what Eileen shared earlier on as well, it's very critical, treat it as a contract roles like everyone does as a full-time employee. This will help to pave your path for your next move. Stay professional, stick up your thoughts. When I mentioned about stick up your forces, even at the time during the interview process, be honest and transparent the reason why taking up this role. And also, is there any timeline, any career expectation, and be transparent to the hiring manager. And of course, hands-on to the job, deliver the expected outcome. And I think the purpose is very critical as well, because people can feel. And that's also translated to the value add, how to value add to the contract role, and how to make yourself outstanding from the contract role as well. And next is stay connected. I think it's always a great idea, no matter it's contract hires or full-time employees, everyone is always welcome to join any company activities. And remember to network with your peers. This will help not only give you a sense of belonging, but also it's very critical to join the associate engagement activities to give you a social and emotional support. And of course, now there's a first move advantage as well. Once you're in the organization, you can always leverage the resource of company intranet looking for any openings. And of course, you can always discuss with your supervisors with any future opportunities. And just want to do some advertisement here as well. For Becton Dickinson, we are the makers of possible. And the share earlier on is today is 9 years for me in this organization. It's a long period of time, but that's for some very good reasons. In our organization, we focus a lot on people with growth mindset, how to help each other to be great, and also possibilities. And there's opportunities within the organization, looking for challenges as opportunities, moving across different regions or even countries, different roles and purpose. And I think it's very critical to find a company like BD now, which can fulfill my personal goal here as well, to deliver a positive impact to the general public, like patient experience and advancing the world of health. So I will pause here for any questions.
Wow, you've done so much.
Thank you, Eileen.
Yeah, I really like the part where you talk about the PCR, right? The test equipment and all that we only have to know when we really need to. Okay. So for example, if you are hiring somebody in a permanent role, let's say a profile comes to you, in the midst of the resume, there is this particular resume that shows an individual that has been doing a lot of contract roles. Does that actually, do you discount this person? Do you sort of say, okay, I think I'll put this as a second place, then I'll look at all those who are doing full-time job. Will it actually compromise them?
Yeah, so I think first of all, it's quite uncommon to see a CV which is full of just part-time, but I think it's very important to keep the transparency. As shared earlier on in one of the slides, right? To get the transparency, it could be due to different reasons. And to me, it's quite natural for people, whether it's full-time, part-time, contract, it's on the spot. And it's critical to get the transparency during the interview process. Why, what's the preference, what's the career aspiration? I think that will be very critical. And long story short, I don't think it will short-train any interview opportunity because it's contract.
I think if I totally agree with you, because if we know how to move up the value chain, right, and then we are very clear in terms of our true value add, I think if we just focus on that, then the employers would be able to see where I can use your service, and whether you work as a part-time or not, then that would actually, I have to look at my business needs essentially, right? Would you say that? Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. And then, you know, in your own journey when you work as a contract hire, you know that it is only, what's the longest term that you, in terms of your contract?
Yeah, actually most of the contract is 1 year, one to 2 years.
Wow.
And honestly, at that time, like I didn't aware until preparing for today sharing. Then I went first half of my career actually is all on contract.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, it's really amazing. And I think after a while, you get a rhythm, right? Basically, you don't worry that much already, because people start to see your value. You start to understand the customer's need. You know they go through a cycle as well, right? So while you are a contract hire, how do you spot opportunities? Like you have a sense that, I think, you know, this employer will need my services for another year or 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's keep open-minded and the continuous learning. And also remember there's a lot of transferable skills as well. And I think a lot of time candidates or individual kind of searching themselves by thinking silo. And I think an example about data analysis, and I do aware there's a lot of data analysts in this audience, and which require a lot of logical thinking. And to me, these are transferable skills. If we can transfer the logical thinking, also master how to ask questions, this will help us to move on to different roles. And remember, also for any industry is evolving as well. And even today for customer service, the requirement for customer service today versus 10 years ago also changed. However, definitely there's some element which is the same. It's the soft skills as well as some of the transferable skills that will help us to move on from one role to another.
Yeah, and did you have to market yourself a lot when you're doing all the contract roles? Like maybe I'm just thinking like, oh, now I only have 3 months left in my contract. Do you think of things like that? Like, okay, now I better find who is gonna hire me or renew my contract. I don't know. Yeah, are you able to share some thoughts there?
Yeah, and actually at that time, also trying to be choiceful as well. And I think every role we need to invest time as well. And it's, or maybe at the beginning of my career journey, I also trying to look for what is the long-term goal or career aspiration for myself. There's a lot of uncertainties, a lot of unknown. So I kind of giving myself a chance. Okay, let's follow the flow. And to me, it's very clear. I want to stay in an industry, a job relevant to science and relevant to human lives. And all the roles are quite aligned to this personal purpose. And then when also moving on from one role to another, honestly, at that time, I less worry about whether I still have a job after 3 months or 6 months, but it's more about, can this role, this job help me for the next move?
I think I really like that, because you already mentioned sometimes there's tailwind, sometimes there's headwind, right? And then when you came over, Singapore was at the stage where we really need, you know, the brains behind the bioscience as well. Yeah. So right place, right time. But I think apart from just right place, right time, you have to also prove your worth. Absolutely, right? For sure.
Definitely, it's about to make yourself outstanding is beyond the job scope sometimes. It's also about whether you have the right attitude to show the value add.
Do you have examples to share with us?
Yeah, and I think one example is we can always excel in our own job scope. But I think some of the value add examples, for example, how you help nurture the next generation, how you help how to bring up to groom not only yourself but also bring up the whole team together. And even for today in the organization, we do see some individuals that have that give, or they have that personality or characters, which is very unique. They can gel the team together. And I strongly believe, yes, there's a lot of individual contributor, but we can always do great things when we work as a team. And that's some of the element value add the employers, hiring manager will see it.
Very nice. But how do you keep in touch with contingent workforce? Do you work with them today?
Yeah, actually, even in our team, we do have contingent workers.
Oh, is it today?
For different reason. Yeah, even today. So one of them is already retired, and he has very special skill set as well as expertise. We want to continue to keep him, and that's why we hired him back as our contract consultant. And we do have part-time as well, which she was previously an intern in the organization, and she did demonstrate, of course, expected performance, but at the same time also from time to time we still need some of her expertise ideas as well. And it doesn't justify for full-time, but it's perfect for her. She is currently a year 3 student in NTU. That's how we convert her from intern to a part-timer. So to me, that's what I mean by a lot of possibilities, and that's all about good reasons why they are still here supporting us as contract hires.
Yeah, you know, I can almost hear the audience say they wish every employer is like you. Yeah. Anyway, there's a question from the audience which I thought I'm interested to hear your views. Okay. So basically, I think Sufyan was saying that he did contract for service work with a training company for 3 years. And then after 3 years, suddenly they, you know, like won't renew and recontract with him. So of course, the first question he asked is it my performance? But they said no. So on the surface, they said no. But then he pressed on further to ask for a reason, but no one wants to say. So now he's lost. He's lost because he's looking at his other so-called contract fellow workers, peers, they're still there, but he's the only one. So I mean, I can resonate, you know, with that, but keen to hear your views first. Any advice?
Yeah, I think first of all is human nature getting all these questions as well. I think it's a better way to manage the conversation is to be more transparent and understanding from an organization or employer perspective, or there's always a chance the contract cannot be renewed, or there's also a chance contract continue to be renewed. And sometimes it could be due to multiple reasons. I couldn't address what's the real reason behind, but I think it could be due to reasons like funding cut, or there's shift of the company direction, and there's multiple reasons. But I think that's the contract hire the employee, first of all, is don't get to the self-blame.
Don't what? Say again.
Don't self-blame, don't criticize, don't doubt about your
ability,
your capability. A lot of time it's not about capability of the individual, but a lot of time it's due to external factors. That's why the contract role is no longer renewed.
Yeah, I think I really like that, because we tend to think, did I do something wrong? So the something wrong, or did I not do anything? You know, sometimes you can be blamed for not taking certain action as well. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, Sufyan. And maybe Sufyan, I'm thinking that perhaps you might want to also ask yourself, you know, I always say that there's no smoke without fire. So maybe there were some fire last time, right? So it's like a Korean drama. You have to flash back to some of the past and think, hey, did something happen and I never noticed? So I call that leading indicator. Something already indicate to you that a fire is going to break out already, or fire is starting to spread, you know. So that's why I say I can resonate, because sometimes I go in there, I do the job, and you do so hard, you do so you put in all the effort to excel, but then you forget to look up and see who's looking at you, because some people don't like you to excel. And some words, some phrases I got in the past was, Eileen, you spoil market, because we never had to do this. Now you do this, we all have to do this. One of it was updating CRM. So after coaching, I update the CRM, I provided a lot of information. The other so-called seasoned coaches start coming at me and say, because of you, now we have to update a lot more info. You know, so should I blame myself, Annie? I don't know. So yeah. And what I told myself is sometimes maybe wrong place, maybe the organizational culture doesn't like people to go beyond that, and if you are, then it's wrong, is wrong match. Maybe time to move on. Yeah, but thanks for saying that. Yeah, Sufan says thanks, very nice. Yeah, so Annie, I'm just wondering, do you see any advice, like were you sucked into office politics when you work as a contract hire?
For me, it's anywhere with people, there will be politics.
I see. Now you have another quote, because I say where there's people, there's psychology, and now for you is where there's.
I think it's how you define that as well. Whenever there's human interaction, or it's just think about how we want to be treated, and treated the same to others. And I think that's why even for hiring managers or any organization, we're looking for people who can bring up the team. And that's why I used that example earlier on. It's not only for individual success, but how to bring up the whole team, the whole organization to success, from good to great. And overall, as a contract or whether full-time, and again, people cannot tell whether you're a contract hire or a full-time hire.
You're right.
Right. So to me, it's that's no differentiator there.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the truth. Is the truth. So whether we are contract hires or not, we are part of the organization. So I think we have to still look around us. Who's looking at us? Who's welcoming us? Who's not welcoming us? Annie, you have a question from the audience. From your experience, do you have any advice what fresh grads can do to seek employment?
Yeah, I think as a fresh graduate, there's a number of opportunities like university for career fairs. It's a chance you can get know different industry, and also at the same time check out the career website of the university as well. From time to time, a lot of organizations, including BD, will look for internship. That's how we look for new talent as well. And also no harm checking through LinkedIn as well. And I think that's a professional social media or platform which you can do your own branding, but at the same time start looking for different opportunities at different organizations. But I think after all, before making a conclusion or even looking for specific job, start looking for what does it mean to you for as a job. Again, every single job you have to invest time. You need to invest time, and actually it's paving for your next move. So I would say, team, yes, check out your career fair, check out any internship. Internship will give you a chance to understand the industry, the role itself, and short-term commitment as well. And of course, for long-term, if very certain that's the industry that I want to enroll to, that's the path I want to move on in the coming few years, then yes, go ahead, be specific, what industry, what kind of role you are working on, and think about, particularly for fresh graduate, I think there's a lot of uncertainties. And that's why it's very common the first few years, we are all kind of trial and error. So nothing wrong. feel free to do that as well. And once you get more direction to your life goal, plan ahead. I think the planning should be not only short term, but 5 years, 10 years. And of course, that's the planning. That could be some change of your career move. It's common. And I think it's the common questions I got doing interview 10 years ago as well. And if you are aware you move all the way from academia, academia path to marketing, say, no, it wasn't my plan. But all the way when you are in your journey, you will start get clarity. What does it mean to you for your next move?
Yeah, I really like that, because when when we were preparing, I was looking at your profile. Of course, we know each other from years back, but I never really had a chance to read people's profile. So that was my opportunity. So when I saw that, two things stood out to me very clearly, because for anyone who does more research, there is this drive to do the research at no matter what cost. And then you successfully move into commercial. So commercial is like, there's a bottom line. And so you're, there's always two paths, right? Then you're torn between, but you managed to make it work. Wow. Fantastic. Very, very good. Yeah. So I'm very impressed with that. I think find your worth is important. And also, I think, do you have any career sponsors?
Yes, that's something I learned later. I think at the beginning of the career, we all very focused on how to excel in our job scope or in our daily job. But when time moves on, then I start learning about, yes, in life or in our career journey, we need mentors, we need coach, and we need sponsor. Yeah. Or maybe take this opportunity to clarify here as well. Sponsor, not necessarily our mentor, not necessarily our coach, but career sponsor is someone who endorses you for your next career move. So yes, and I think that's also some tipping point a few years ago as well. One of the senior leaders in the organization, she is retiring, and before she retired, actually she was my sponsor. I didn't aware until after she retired. I aware she did help endorse, refer myself to the next move. And I think that's really struck me even today as well. We want to pay it forward, right? What she did actually is purely to nurture the next generation leaders. And we want to continue pay it forward. And yes, career sponsors, we definitely need that. And the career sponsor will come when you excel beyond the expectation.
Very, very nice. Yeah. Sometimes we don't know who is helping us at the back, right? And then it would be so nice if they show themselves. It will be really, really good. So I think the general advice is be nice to everybody and pay forward. And for those who are not nice to you, at least you recognize first and then move on to the next one. Yeah, I think that's so important. I know that Annie, you are also quite active on LinkedIn. So would you be open if people connect with you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. I think it's open to public. Please feel free to follow. Yeah, my response could be slow, but I do read all the message.
Yes, that's how I reconnect with you on LinkedIn. Yeah, so I do encourage everyone to connect with Annie in LinkedIn as well. Ting was asking, what job pages do you recommend for fresh grad? I mean, in your space.
In my space, there's quite a number, or maybe it's quite unique, common in Singapore as well.
Yeah.
There's a number of recruitment firms you can look into. I'm not sure, is it okay to give some examples about?
Yeah, please. Yeah. This is a neutral platform.
Yeah, for example, for our industry, MedTech, life science, micropage, will staffing, actually a lot. Even you go to JobStreet, which is more general, but if you're looking for, like what Annie you mentioned, and specific to different industry, then those will be quite common for fresh grads. By the way, my first commercial job was referred by recruiter as well. And that's why I think today LinkedIn is very important. a lot of recruiters, internal or external, will look for candidates from LinkedIn and other different resources. But make yourself visible, updating your LinkedIn profile, and definitely it will help in the job hunting.
Yeah, totally agree with you, because right now, today, LinkedIn is by far, the largest professional network, right? The rest, yes, social media, but they are mixed with some kind of social, heavy on the social content, but this one more professional content. Yeah, I totally resonate with you as well. So to add on to what you have mentioned, I think if you were to go to My Careers Future, for sure, right? My Careers Future, more because, organizations have been advised to post their jobs, and before they bring in any foreign hire, they have to at least advertise the job for a period of time. So I know it's a legal requirement. So go to My Careers Future. There's a lot of other job aggregators like Annie have mentioned as well. That's so nice. Thank you so much. Yeah. I actually, there's another question. Do you actually allow the contract hires to negotiate? Do they even have negotiation power, Annie? Or you get HR to handle?
Yeah, that's true. So usually for the process, we do have HR expertise who will manage all this negotiation. So the answer is yes. Why not?
Yeah, why not, right? Like you handled the case where the intern was converted to a contract hire. I'm sure you have also helped, in terms of getting them on board. Yeah.
That's definitely a process and benchmarking. So I think the question is, again, whether it's a contract hire or full-time hire, the process is the same. And everyone's eligible for negotiation of the terms, not only on the salary, but again, because of different reasons, candidates are looking for, they could be looking for flexibility, looking for time, not only time, but also for different kind of term which is negotiable. So doing the negotiation stage, being transparent, why taking up the role, how to make a win-win situation as well. And no matter it's a contract hire or full-time hire, we also want to make sure that the candidates will stay here for more, complete the whole contract, the whole contract, and of course looking for any future opportunities as well.
I used to put a little bonus at the end of the contract term to say, if you finish this, you get a bonus at the end, just to keep them all the way to the end. Do you practice that too?
Yeah, so for some of the roles, yes. And actually some of the, even for some of the contract benefit is more or less the same as full-time. So that's what I mean by everything is negotiable and don't shy out to bring it up. And what you will lose is you still get the job, but likely not the extra you're asking for.
Yeah, I mean, there's a trade-off. There's always a trade-off. And I was thinking, when you brought in, the resource and the talent who was retired, did you have to, was like his last drawn salary, which is quite some time back, is that even relevant?
Actually, even for the current real life example, we did even renew, when we renew the contract, we did sometimes adjust that salary as well, according to the business, the economy. And again, for that, for the associate, we do aware to him is also something extra, but he definitely show value to the organization. And also, it's great to have his expertise continue in the organization. And we've been quite transparent. Few months ahead of any contract renewal, we will start discussing about what's next. And we do treasure all these valuable associates as well, who've been working with us for more than 32 years now, and still bringing in the knowledge, and also at some point helping us to groom the next year's talents in the organization.
This is so nice. As I said again, I can almost speak on behalf of the audience. We hope all employers are like you. because you have walked the journey yourself, and therefore you know, and you know, you treat them with equal respect. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so I think there is only one last question that I have that I see, because the rest I think we can actually cover it, is more administrative. So are there things that, okay, so this one, is there a minimum period that you hire when you bring on a contract hire? Is there a minimum period for you?
The minimum period means the length of the contract.
Yeah, correct. What's the shortest? Let's talk about the shortest that you've ever brought on a contract hire.
The shortest I ever had, maybe 1 year.
Wow, so nice. Again, we are all gonna kowtow to you.
I think contract likely 1 year, but internship will be shorter, because internship is fulfill those university time schedule as well. Yeah, otherwise contract usually is the shortest is at least 1 year.
Very, very nice. Yeah. Okay. That's the last question from the pre-questions that we got. Any parting advice to the audience, like best practice, don't forget, do this, or avoid this mistake? Any parting advice for the audience?
Yeah, I think one of the key advices is real life again. Don't label yourself as a contract short-term hire. And it's very critical to excel, stay professional, to deliver the desired outcome of the job scope. Stay network with your peers as well, because you never know when the opportunity comes. When the opportunities come, people will think about you and how to get the opportunity, not only transfer from the contract role to a full-time role, but it could open up more than one opportunity.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, you sum it up so nicely. So don't go in there and just do your job and say goodbye. Please look at who's around you, you know, build your contacts, build your network, because you never know, one of them could be your sponsor. One of them could be your sponsor. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Annie, for your time and for, you know, answering all the questions here.